Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the 2017 Mars in Gemini transit part 3 of 3. In this segment, I'm going to be talking about the transit's possible impact on the zodiac signs Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, and yes, it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant for all zodiac signs. Well, anyway, first thing is, as far as its possible impact on Libra, well, there might be a lot more exchanges in terms of maybe email correspondence, exchanges with people in a foreign country, such as being on Facebook or social media sites. This could be perhaps some acrimonious and contentious situations with in-laws and grandchildren, if applicable, and with a lot of quick, off-the-cuff, Gemini-like rebuttals. There might be just some healthy intellectual debate during this time with those people as well. Now, also, keep in mind Mars being in restless Gemini, and in the 9th house being a higher education, well, you could put 2 and 2 together and see that perhaps there can be some restlessness and indecision, perhaps with college education, if somebody is trying to determine or ascertain what courses they want to take. Those are, and also you might be more involved with maybe some running errands and doing trips for perhaps grandchildren and in-laws, if applicable, during this time as well. Now, as far as for Scorpio, well, for Scorpio, the 8th house is what is highlighted and emphasized during this transit. And for Scorpio, well, there could be a lot of energy and perhaps in vitality in connection with maybe transformation, regeneration, making a major change in one's life. This could be also perhaps being the 8th house connected with taxes for some people in the United States anyway. It could indicate perhaps a lot of nervous energy and really a lot of things connected with communication over taxes, even matters with insurance perhaps. If this is somebody that's an astrologer or someone in the supernatural or occult, there could be a more busier active period for this, but it could be a lot of short and concise, quick communications in matters connected with that. So anyway, well, as far as Sagittarius goes, well, this is going to emphasize and highlight the 7th house for Sagittarius as far as this transit. And there can be if the person is involved in a legal battle, this could really indicate some acrimonious experiences with these open adversaries that are in a legal situation, or just open adversaries period, with a lot of disputes, a lot of quick, concise communications. This could be a lot more communication energy associated with this, with the significant other, and somebody that might person might have an important relationship with, if applicable. A lot more emailing, a lot more instant messaging, perhaps with the significant other. You may be more involved in taking people that are in important relationships with on short journeys. It could be a lot of restlessness, a lot of energy connected with intellectual stimulation with that significant partner, or that person that you have an important relationship with, if applicable. Those are in really maybe just some really healthy intellectual debates with that person. So anyway, as far as Capricorn goes, well, the 6th house is what is emphasized during this period for Capricorn, and the 6th house being that house of work and employment. Well, you may be required to be more diversified in your work during this time. There might be a lot of restlessness where you are at your place of employment. It might be hard to sit still and do one task at a time and be methodical and deliberate in that process in this period, due to the fact that Mars is in the restless sign of Gemini. And also, there can be a lot of nervous energy in connection with health matters. You might be doing maybe a lot of energy injected or expended on working out, exercising, but doing a lot of different exercises and trying to stay healthy in manifold ways during this transit. There also can be, at the very least, a healthy argument or two with perhaps somebody in your place of employment during this time. And you may notice that the 6th house is also the daily routine. You may be incorporating a lot more variety into this as well, given that Mars is in Gemini. Now, as far as Aquarius goes, well, the 5th house is what is highlighted and emphasized during this transit for Aquarius. And being the 5th house, there might be maybe some discord and some contentious situations with children, if applicable, if you do have them. There might be a lot of, and perhaps children might be a little bit more restless and antsy than usual. And you may have a hard time, they may have a hard time sitting still during this period, more so than usual. Stagnation could be a dirty word for them at this time. Also, though, it might be a good period for perhaps some intellectual, creative work. It might be a good period for Aquarius to put a lot of energy into writing. And also, the one danger is there could be a superficial sexual attraction with a prospective romantic partner, which, I mean, may not be bad depending on perception, but it wouldn't necessarily be somebody that you would necessarily have a sustained relationship with. It could be really strongly superficial, and it could be, if unattached, the person may have some one-night stands during this period. Now, last but not least, as far as Pisces goes, well, the 4th house is what is accentuated and highlighted during this period. And for Pisces, well, it could be that Pisces might be more actively involved with their home and family during this time. Mars being in Gemini, Gemini could be about dexterity, and Mars could be about their action and activity. Well, the thing is, the person may be more involved doing perhaps some home repairs during this period, more so than usual, doing things that require a strong use of the hands, where the hands figure prominently. People in their family themselves might be a little bit more restless and high-strung than usual. You might find yourself running a lot more errands for people in your family in matters pertaining to your home, such as if you were renovating, going to stores, doing things where you're buying things perhaps to fix up the home. There might even be some contentious and acrimonious moments, more so than usual, with people in your home life during this time, and you might put a lot more energy than usual into building perhaps a strong foundation for yourself if you haven't done so already. It could be a lot of energy, mental energy, really looking at your roots and understanding your traditions more so than usual during this time. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the 2017 Mars in Gemini transit, part 3 of 3, and stay tuned next time where I will be continuing my Juno in the Signs series. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.